Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and yes, I am back, and this is my late review of Forgotton Anne. It's spelled weird for no apparent reason, but whatever, I played it on the Xbox One, it's also available on the PS4. So to start out, you play as Anne in this really unique world where items from the human world that are forgotten travel to, essentially, and become sentient and become forgotlings. Anne and one other guy, whose name I can't remember at the moment, they are the only two humans in this world, and it is his goal to get back to the human world. And it is essentially Anne's duty as the enforcer to help him make that happen. She helps keep law and order, and unfortunately, there are rebels in this world who don't necessarily see eye to eye with him. So they launch a large-scale attack on basically his infrastructure, and Anne is forced to go investigate, find out what happened. And of course, the story has more depth to it than that. But like always, I'm not going to go into that because I'm not going to spoil anything. I will say, however, I really enjoyed the world that they were building. I liked the idea of it, and it made me want to know more about what was going on in this world. As for the audio, I enjoyed the audio. I like the music. I like the sound effects. The voiceover work is incredibly hit or miss. It either sounds very good or very discount. There's no in between, and that can get distracting. Now, as for the gameplay, this is a side-scrolling action-adventure platforming puzzle game. But unfortunately, due to the controls, the platforming is not fantastic, and the puzzles get boring. They're not super interesting or super challenging. And I don't really know where to put it because it's kind of a design element that's not really controls, but it's something like that. The stairs in this game suck. They don't work in a way that they should work, quite frankly. As for the controls, these are sadly, And by that I mean they are sluggish, not necessarily responsive, and that's obviously a problem when you're playing a platformer. While nothing is ever really under a timer, it just gets frustrating when you're trying to jump onto a ledge that you really can't because the controls suck. On top of that, I find the controls very unintuitive. Certain things have become kind of standardized in the modern gaming world, especially among platformers. And this game basically said, fuck it, we're gonna do what we want. And that leads to certain things being not as functional as they should be. On top of that, the whole boosted jump, double jump situation doesn't work as intuitively as it should. It requires buttons that I feel are unnecessary, and the buttons that it chose to make that happen are unnecessary. It just ends up being more complicated than it needs to be. Sadly, the controls really start to drag the game down and make it less enjoyable than it should be. Now lastly, there's the graphics. The graphics, man, I really enjoyed the graphics. They were married so well with the story. I really enjoy the very Studio Ghibli anime style graphics of this game. That artwork, those drawings, they're wonderful. And I like the animation in this game, except for during the cutscenes, because it often feels like there's a frame or two missing and the animation doesn't feel as smooth as it should. Whereas during the gameplay, it's very smooth, apart from when you're trying to crawl through like vents and pipes, etc. It's really a jerky, weird animation that slows everything down a bit. But overall, I did enjoy the world they were building. I thought it was interesting and unique. To wrap it up though, this game is $20. It's a little less than 6 hours. I mean, it took me a bit more than 6 hours because I was dicking around, but if I hadn't been, I easily could have shaved about a half hour off of that. So it's not super long, and unfortunately, it would make a much better movie or anime series because, quite frankly, the gameplay and the controls just drag it all down. As much as I enjoyed the story and the visuals, I would have rather watched that than played it. So I gotta say, as much as I enjoyed that, it's a skip overall because if I don't enjoy playing it, what's the point in it being a game? Okay, so in the comments below, why don't you tell me if you're a Studio Ghibli fan? And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, and if you like what I'm doing in general, share, subscribe. Have a good one.